morning, everyone. Nice card for us to do today. Little bit of shabby chic, bit of collage, a little bit of everything on there, I think. So that's what we're going to do today. So things we're going to need: you're going to need a glue gun today. You're going to need heat gun, a ball and tool, black Versamark, and then you're going to need vintage photo, tea dye, and aged mahogany in distress inks. And then I've picked a white, and this is warm white with pink dusk paint, acrylic cosmic shimmer I've used, a couple of felt tips, or marker pens. I've also used some distress crayons, which you'll see. I've used John Lockwood's Dahlia. Is it a Dahlia? Let's see what it says. Oh, Tatty Daisy, sorry. Tatty Daisy die for the flower. And I've used Woodware collage stamp. And then Woodware some words. Now these words are all joined together, but I've cut off ones I want separate so that I can stamp them separately. I think that's what they want you to do. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing. So let's pop that over there. And you need a 5x7 card base. Oh, I mustn't forget this. This was just a little image I took off of the internet. Just printed it. And it's just suitable for what we're doing. You'll need a piece of wooden frame or a card frame. You can cut out a small card frame and use that the same. I've got a little bird that I've used to mould with paper clay. A little bit of pearls, got to have pearls. A little bit of lush lace. This is really lovely lace. Look at that, it's beautiful. And some, I don't know what this is, Hessian sort of things. A piece of that you'll need too. I think that's it. Now I've used the Foameran. I'll be honest, I'm not impressed. I think it'd look better in card, but that's me. I'm just that way. So you need an A5 card base, an envelope obviously, and then I've used this. It's not brown, it's not red, it's not pink, maybe taupe, that sort of colour. That's your first piece. That's 5.5 by 8 and 14 centimetres by 20. So that's your first piece. And then I've got a piece of patterned card. You can use any pattern. It's not, you know, I've just found this because it goes really nice with the colour of the card, background card. So that piece I've cut at 3.5 by 7 3/4, 3.5, or 9 centimetres by 19.5. So that bit's your bit there. And then I found this in my drawer. I don't know how long I've had it, but I just fell in love with the colour. And it's the smooth glitter, so no glitter comes off. And that is 2.5 by 6. 6.5 by 15.5. And that's going to go on the top there. I think I'm going to put it on the top. And then I've cut a little piece of cardboard. I've used the corrugated, and that is 3 inches by 3.25, 7.5 by 8. And that's just off of one of the delivery boxes I've had, and I've just literally cut it off. I didn't do anything particularly more to it than that. So we'll get started. What shall we do first? I think we'll do our roughing our edges. I know some of you don't like this, but I do, and I've just kept an edge free of each one because you don't want to sit watching me doing this. I like to use big scissors. You can get tools to do it. I have got one somewhere, but I don't really know where it is because I don't use it. I like my big scissors, and I hold quite close to where I'm rubbing, and I just rub. Go backwards and forwards. You can lean it over a little bit so you get a good rub. Just don't be frightened of it. And then just do this bit. There you go. Look at that. Lovely. You do get a bit of mess. So I'm not happy with that side yet. Just do a little bit more on that side. That's better. That one. And the same again with this. When it's not such thick card, just be careful with holding it. And it doesn't matter if you tear a chunk out of it. It all adds to what you're doing with it. Let's see, that's the top. I've got a little tear there, and I think we'll have another tear at the bottom here. Little one there. So that's that piece done. And I've looked at my card to see where I can put a tear like this to add more interest, where you're going to see it. So that's why I've done that there. Same with this one, you're going to distress this one. And again, it doesn't matter if you tear it. Just remember where you're going to put it, to which tear side you do. So I've made that a bit more interesting, that side, so that you can see a bit more of it. That's that back. And now your corrugated card, I want you to try and get some of this off. I'm just pulling that. Start from the other side. There you go. Leave that, because that's all adds to what you're going to do to it in a sec. I'm just going to do that next so that we can get this done. So I'm going to go over with the white paint. Giving it a shake. I'm just putting a little bit on my board. I'm just going to get a thickish card, a piece of kitchen roll, I'm just going to wipe some of this off. I don't want it pure white. There's a bit of texture to it. That bit done, and now I'm just going to put a little bit of this pink. So again, I'm dry brushing, so I'm brushing it, loaded my pen up and taking off all the excess. You'd be amazed at how much colour comes onto this. I'm just dry, lightly stroking it, and I'll do again. Turn that over so we can up and down with the brush, get most of that off. And you may think, oh my gosh, What's the point of that? But you're going to get that, which is a bit brown, a bit pink and a bit white, and that's what you want. So that's that done. Let's get that a wet one, and we'll get that one all off. That's that bit done. Have a piece, wipe my fingers, and then wrap this round my brush so it doesn't go hard. That's it. That's that there. So we've done that. Done that. So now, what I'm going to do now is paint my frame. Paint. I'll get my words right eventually. You only need a little tiny bit of paint for this. And now I've got a little bit of a, if you can see that, there's a little bit of paint dried on that edge there. I want to see if I can ease that off. And I'm going to leave that little blob to dry as well. Let's pop that on there, over there, out the way. And that, again, will just add interest. And all I'm doing with this is my finger. Because I don't want it white, and it would be quite difficult with the brush. So, just doing it a little bit. Just so that it's a little bit not brown anymore. So, and you see what sort of, see, that's the brown side, and you've got that white bit there. So we'll leave that to dry as well. I want my fingers, my hands. Amazing where this paint gets. Alright, so that's that bit done. So I think what we'll do next, it's quite a lot of different components to do today, so just take it as it comes. I think we'll do our stamp next. So I've got 2 spare white pieces of card, one to do my main stamp on and one to do my words. So I've got already this done so that I can put this on my stamp platform. What is the matter with your head today, Trisha? So off we go. You know how I like to stamp. Ink to the stamp and lots of light taps. You don't want to push it down because you'll push it into the grooves of the stamp and you won't get a nice even stamp. It'll blur it. Got a bit of a, excuse me ladies, I've got a bit of black ink there, and so I'm just going down, pushing on it. In fact, I'm going to stand like this because you get a much better push on it. Let's have a look. I think that's just perfect. So that's that bit done. I'm just going to put a piece of paper in that just to stop the ink going on my pad. Now I'm going to cut this down. So I'm just going to the bottom more or less. And again at the top just so that it's just over it. So I'm not putting too much of a margin on. Now that side's okay. I'm just going to take a little bit off this side. will do us nice. And now we're going to colour this. And this I've used tie-dye ink. Shall I do it with a brush? No, I'm going to do it with the sponges. An aged mahogany I've used. So I've used the two colours, aged mahogany, and I'm just going to go in with that, just like that. And then I go lighter at the edges because I want a bit of tea dye in the colour of that. Just to light around the edges. So, and now I'm going to go in with the tea dye. And it just gives it a little bit of different colour. A little bit here and there on that middle as well. So there's your piece coloured, and now we're going to do that redded thing again. I'm going to distress all the edges. Just rub your scissors. Now, don't be frightened. If you don't do it hard enough, you won't get the effect you're after. It doesn't matter if you tear it. Just watch where you tear so that it is at least showing, so that it's worth your effort. So it's that way up. So I'm going to do a little bit of a tear here. There, and then I think I'm going to do a little bit on the top here. Just go a bit deeper down with your scissors. There, that's it. That's for me. So now I'm going to distress it with Vintage Photo to do my edges. Some distress. Just on the edges so that you get, and you just flick it on the edges so that you get the edge. And I've used a bit darker just so that it does show a little bit that it's different. And Vintage Photo makes everything look aged. There you go. Done very well there, Trisha. Get that. That's it. That's better. There we go. So that's that done now. I'm just going to tap that off my ink. And then we're going to distress all the rest of them while we've got this out. So I'm just going to go in, and you go in from the edge like that, because that's what gets the edge of the card done. Just going to discolour that. So you can do it this way as well, but I find it easier if I lay it down. Don't forget to colour your tears as well, because they will have aged with it. Okay, that's that one. I'll just do this one. at me with, I'm stopping me breathing as I'm doing. There we go. So that's that one done. And now this one I'm going to do with my aged mahogany. And this one I'm going to do this way so that I can get a good colour on that edge. You can see it going on as I'm doing. Right, now I've done that. Now I'm going to just touch it up with the vintage photo just to age it as well. Just very quickly, a little bit of it on there. There we go. And now you can see how that's edged. That's that done. So that's them all done now. Put that away. So, and now I'm going to just wipe my fingers a bit because I do get quite inky. So I think the next thing we'll do is our words. So I've got another spare piece of, I don't know where they've come from. So I'm going to do my, I really want to cut these because I'm not getting, I'm going to. I'm talking to myself now, ladies. That's one. And I'm just cutting through these words because I can space them a bit better to cut them easier. There's black ink gone. Oh, there it is. Oh, I have got it on my elbow, look. That's me all over. Ink to stamp, light taps. And away we go. So you are... That's that one. Just pop that up there so I don't like taps. Clean off your block round. And this one says beautiful. I'm going to put that one there. One. Awesome. And I leave this on a little bit just so that the ink soaks into the card as well as on the top. Amazing. So that's them done. Leave that up there now. Let's put the lid on that one. Of that. Now I'm going to colour my flowers. There's lots of... I've used the whole 2, 4, 6, 8 elements to the die. I've used them all just on one flower. And then I cut a leaf, 2 leaves. And all I did was I cut a square of foamy ran. what I did with the foamy ran. So I just cut a square of card. So I just cut in like that, and I just went in and just did a leaf shape, and then I just done that. So that's how I've done the leaves. And these I'm just going to twist with my fingers and let the heat make it just distress it a bit, and then just stretch it a little bit. There we go. I'm just rolling it. And then just unroll it and just stretch it a little bit, and there's your leaves. Pop that up there, can you see that? There you go. And these I'm just going to so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2 little ones. So the 2 little ones I'm going to do bright orange. Now this is what I'm using my crayons for, because it's not wet. It doesn't need drying, and ink doesn't dry very well on foamy ran. So I'm just doing them. I want to do them bright orange because they're the middle. Let's make sure I've got them all done. And now I'm just going to do these. The colours I've used of this is Spice Marmalade, and now I'm using Dried Marigold, and the little darker one is Rusty Hinge. So I'm just going to turn that up a little bit so I've got a bit more there. So I'm just going to go down here with the light through the... Don't worry about the middle, because you've got the middle little bits going on there. I don't know whether you've used these ever, but these react with water, so you can use them to colour with. Just put a little bit down on your board and wet brush. It becomes a paint. You can put it straight on your card and spread it. This actually spreads with your finger as well. I should have got these done before I started. Never mind. We're not doing bad for time. Don't want to bore you. And so you notice I'm leaving some of the tips because I'm going to go over them with a darker colour. Whoops, missed that one. Let's do that. There we go. Let's turn that down, put the lid on. Now I'm going in with my Rusty Hinge. Almost there, ladies. Now I'm going to show you another way to use these in a sec. These crayons are there we go. So it's a little bit too dark on this outer edge, so I can get a wet wipe and just run over and blend it, make it not quite so dark, because the bottom leaf petals are always lighter than the middle, so that's just what I'm doing with these, like that. There we go. And now I'm just going to pop a little bit of aged mahogany onto my leaves. Just to give them a bit of colour. There we go. That's that. Let's get them, I'll leave them over there to dry. And now we'll colour. A little bit more brighter, not quite bright enough for me. Get them a little bit, that's better. That's better, a bit darker now. Leave them there. Right, now we're going to cut our letters, and I do like my little guillotine for this sort of thing, because it's much easier to handle than the big one for doing things like this. And now I'm not using this, I'm using my edge of my blade to get that. You don't have to cut them like this, you could fussy cut them. In fact, I'm going to fussy cut the rest. And what I mean by fussy cut is they don't need to be straight, so you know you can go in and make them wavy. Just give them a bit more interest, should we say. So let me just pop that up for you so you can see how that is. Just making it a bit more. See the other one? I'll show you that one now. Nico. Just round that bit off because I don't want a point now. Now I've done that one as well now, so that's that. Just get rid of my bits. So now all I'm going to do is just go lightly on the edges like that, just round. So I'm going to do something different to what I did on my sample card, because since then something has arrived, and I tell you, Tim Holtz has got a lot to answer for. My purse is emptying quicker than ever watching Tim Holtz question and answer videos on Facebook. Oh! So what I'm going to do now is get my dauber. I've not used this. This is the first time I've used this. So that's that one. What did I do with the original? Right. So obviously I've got to get some down. Now I'm just gonna get it all over there, like that. Same here. That's that. Now I can't find my original cat thing. I put it in a different. So this is embossing glaze, and it's an embossing powder. And you think, oh look, it's going to cover up all her writing. Just get my that's one. Two. Two. Let's put a bit more on that edge there. Okay, that's that. Take them off the there like that. And put the rest back in there. Right, now I'm going to get my heat gun. Get it nice and hot. Oh, okay. Now I'm doing it from underneath because it's a block of embossing glaze. Lovely. Sorry ladies, I'm having to do it like this because they're two little pieces to do in my hand. Lovely, don't stick to there. Where's my other one gone? I saw it fly over here. Awesome, I've lost. Ah, there it is. Right. Let's get this one up. There you go, look. I don't know whether you can see the shine on that and the colour. These embossing glazes, they come, I think there's 12 out at the moment, and they correspond with the colours of the distress inks, so they match. This was Fire Brick Red that I've used on here. There's another. I want to see if I can get a bit of light. Oh, there you are, look at that. And you get the colour and see-through, so I could have gone all over that and used it. It would have just given it a coloured glaze. I fell in love with it, so my purse is emptying quite quickly. But never mind, I can't take it with me. Now this, I haven't got all the ink over this bit, so it's not, but that works with what we're going to do, so I'm not unhappy about that. That's great. So we'll assemble our flowers now, and the leaves and the two middle bits. So I'll just get my ball tool. And with this, all I'm doing is the bit in there. The petals are too fine to definite with the heat, so I'm just pushing in a little bit on that middle. As I say, with card I'd have bent them up, but it doesn't work with foam around. And if you put it on the iron, it just goes berserk. So I wasn't successful with it. So with card, it would be much better. So now this is what I use my heat gun for, because they're a lot easier to stick with a little bit of glue. So a little tiny bit of glue in the middle there. Pop this on, try and get them to alternate a little bit. It's not easy, so. And then the next one. A little bit going over there a bit, that's it. Let's see if we can, with the heat of that, if we can not. Alright, and I won't. There. Little bit of glue. There we go. I got it stuck to my finger. Oh dear. A little bit. In. So I'm going to stick this one into the other one and then stick it into my flower. A little bit of glue on that. Pop that in. There we go. Like that. And now with the leaves, we're just going to pop a little bit of glue at the bottom there. And just stick that so it comes out there like that. And again, just on the bottom of the front of the card, of the leaf. And there's your flower done. Actually, that's come out nicer than my original. I take it all back, I like it. Alright, so now all we've got to do is prep the bird and then we can start assembling. So for the bird I've used different colours. And I'm just gonna, I use these because I've used paper clay and this works really well with paper clay. It takes the colour for me and very nice. That's that. Which is the lighter of the two? Let's have a look. Got the right one. And I'm just going to do a little bit of lighter there, and then put that in with a bit of dark on his wings. I want a dark tail. Don't forget to do the top sides. And then I go back in with the light. Yep. I'll do that. And I'm going to put a little bit of the orange. Just across his head there. This will blend with the light brown. That's it. Just give it a bit more depth to the colour. Now remember to do the top. All the way down like that. Top of his head. Down to there. There like that, so you can see I'm doing the very tip. Now I'm just going to change that a little bit to what I've done. I'm turning him into a young house sparrow. It's orange. Oops. Lost me cut pens, what colour I was using. Let's give that a little bit of then we're doing an orangey beak, I think. Oh, lovely. I'm liking that. Let's pop the lids on my pens before I TN7. orange. That's the grey. Tell you never do 2 cards the same. You'll always have to change something. That's the flower. Right. Let's move that out of the way now. Put him up there. Right, now I'm going to do this bit. And for this, where's my frame gone? Over here. That's it. I've got it. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of wax on this now. And all I've done is I've dab it off, and I'm just going really lightly. I don't know whether you can see that that's picking up the grain of the actual wood. It just lifts it. I'm not using any pressure. I'm just rubbing my finger lightly over. And then a little bit heavier on the edges so that I get a nice bit of gold. There you go. Now that looks like an older mirror now. And now I just want to get my picture. And I think I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue because I think it'll stick quicker for me to cut it out. So I'm just going to place this just where I want it. That's it. That's brilliant. Now I'm going to get my knife. Just going to move that over for a sec. And now I'm going to get my knife and I'm just going to cut round the edges on the straights. I'm going to get my little scissors onto the curls. I'm going to have to use my blade. It won't come off otherwise. Right, so that's stuck there. So now I can get my other glue in to stick down the other edges that I've missed. There we go. And that's down here as well. I'll just hold that there for a bit. And I'm going to get my little curvy scissors. Go in there. There we go. So now that's the picture done. Lovely. Put that bit of paper in there. Now we can get going. So the first bit onto the card. Collal. Are you coming out? Look up a little bit more. Nice bit of glue all around the edges. Make sure you get your corners as well. Pop that on there. Needs to go up a little bit. That's it, perfect. Now put me inky blinky. It's fallen off my lap because I've moved and done things. There we go, that's the first bit. And now the next bit, we'll check that we've got the card round the right way. I'm going to stick this bit on. Along the edges, into the corner. And then a little bit down the middle. And we have to pop that in there like that. And again, I'm going to use my blinky. Lovely. I've got ink, I've got wax, you name it, I've got it on my... So now I've got to put the glittery bit in. If I can find the glittery bit. One on the floor. No. This always amazes me, is how I lose things. When, you know, there's nowhere for it to go. But yeah, I can lose it. Oh, there it is, look, right into my eyeballs. Whoa. So I'm going to put that way round. All down my edges. And a bit in the middle. So this is just going to go the same gap this side as that side. And more or less in the middle. And I'll put that round the wrong way. I'll try that again, ladies. Just making sure you're awake to tell me. That's it. And now we're going to stick our ribbon on. And I think I need to trim off a little bit. Same on that little bit. That's that there, so that's going to go there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue on the thicker part of the lace. I'm just going to pop that underneath there so that it still comes over. And then the same again this side. On the thicker piece of lace. There. And maybe a little bit there. That's it. Lovely. Let's move you over a little bit. It's better. That's better. There, a little bit there. Now, did I put pads on that? Yes. So now I'm going to put my picture on, and I've padded that. I'll get some pads on it. One in the middle. And now I'd put a little bit of tacky glue on the back of them. It just makes sure it sticks, doesn't fall off when it gets warm. So that's going to go down the bottom there like that. Nice. And then we're going to stick this. So this I'm going to use hot glue as well because it will stick better, quicker, what I want it to do. And that's going to go round about there. Nice. And now I'm just going to do a little bit, teeny tiny bit on this, on here, just to, it'll just make it look a bit weathered. Oops, I did drop a bit of glue there. Can you see that? There you go, you can. Nice. So that's that bit done. Now we need the picture on, don't we? I'm going to put a pad on the back of that at the top, and then a little bit of hot glue at the bottom of the frame. Oh gosh, that was a bit of hot glue. Ouch. I'm going to pop that about there and the pad down. That's it. That's great. Fleur, where's my fleur? So now I'm going to get some of this. Now, I have cut some pieces off, so I want that to be there. So I'm just going to pop a little blob of glue there, and without burning my fingers, I'm just going to push some of the fibres into the hot glue so it sticks it. And then I'm going to have another piece. Stick that on there as well. Just stick it down. There we go. And now I just want to take that little off there. No, that bit's okay. And now my flower. So a bit of hot glue on the back. And now I can position my flower in amongst that. Oh, that's brilliant. And now I'm going to put my birdie on. Just going to get a bit of hot glue on there as well. And he's going to just stand on there. Oh, he's standing. Keep that down until it dries a bit. Okay. Interesting. Obviously not enough glue on it. That's better. You don't want to stick down there either, do you? You want to stand up a bit, but I don't want you to stand up. So I'm going to attach some fibres to the glue so you can't roll up, she says. That's better. Take my tweezers off. Glue gets everywhere. Now I'm going to put my pearls. Now I want my pearls to go down there and down there. So do a little one and a big one. So these, I'm just going to put a blob of glue where I want the first bit of the pearl to stick. And then I'm going to come down and put a blob of glue. Oh, I hope you can't hear that on the video. My tummy. It wasn't thunder, ladies. It was definitely my tummy. Now, I did have a glue stick here. What have I done with my glue stick? No, none there that I can see. And here's the other. No. Okay, let's look, see if I've got it. There's one. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of that before I stick it through there, because then it'll stick on the bottom of that one. That's it. So I want that one there. Bit of glue. Stick that down. Turn my card round so I can get to it. And a little bit of glue there. There we go. That's them. And now I'm going to put my words on. Where are my words? You Are is going to go there. Tacky glue, because it's going flat. Push that into where. Sit. Stick that bit down. You Are. And now I want Beautiful. What have I done with me Beautiful? That is going to go on my picture. Just on the top there, like that. And then I want to put Amazing on there. That I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue along that bit. So that will stick there. And Awesome. Let's leave it where I originally put it. It's not thunder, ladies. Oh, it's my tummy. There you go, all assembled. Well, I hope you've enjoyed making that, and I hope I've made it fairly easy for you. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Lots of love to you. Bye.